in the Dampier Forest Reserve and its rugged terrain of hills, mountains, created conditions such that over such rugged terrain, you can have turbulence, downdraft, and other phenomena. Now, to look at this is what we're talking about. This is a known aviation phenomena when you have such rugged territory. And what ends up happening is turbulent wind currents occur usually around ridgeline in May 2015, having been manufactured in 2012. And it reached its 10-year service threshold on 18th May 2025. Aircrafts have periodic checks to make sure that they're fit for service. The Air Force has 25-hour checks, 50-hour checks, and 100-hour checks. 10-year check for the helicopter is what was mandated for this helicopter. Now, as is usual, an operator, in this case Ghana Air Force, requested from the manufacturer an extension, and it's normal. Happens in civil flying, happens with any type of flying. The manufacturer gave a 90-day extension to 18th August 2025, and basically the helicopter met all the basic safety requirements. That notwithstanding, it's sort of clashed, it sort of met a 100-hour check. So the Air Force also did a 100-hour check on the helicopter before the flight. The aircraft on the day was declared serviceable and duly signed off by both the engineers and the captain. The flight data report indicates that the helicopter was in good working condition. The helicopter, however, did not have some avionic safety enhancements. As I said before, the aircraft was serviceable and airworthy. The additional safety equipment that the helicopter did not have were things like the helicopter terrain awareness system or the enhanced ground proximity warning system, as you may choose, advanced navigation with terrain mapping, an automatic flight control system, and I would say that these safety equipment would have enhanced situational awareness. For instance, it didn't have an autopilot, that's advanced, the automatic flight control system, so that crew had to manually fly the plane, so sort of increases workload. Typically, you want to have a plane that has an autopilot. All the civil planes use autopilots, and the workload on the pilots is very low. It gives you the chance to do things and to think easily, and so on and so forth. Despite all this, the aircraft was in a good condition to fly and met all safety formats, all safety requirements. The investigation has recommended strongly for aircraft with these additional safety enhancements to be acquired immediately for the Air Force. To rule out any potential human causes, we also examined the qualifications, experience, and competence of the crew. The CAP has a postgraduate certificate in safety and accident investigation from Cranfield University, UK, in 2024. The captain was a qualified FAA, that's the Federal Aviation Administration, commercial and instrument rated pilot from Bristol Academy, Florida, USA, in April 2015, 10 years ago. Within the Ghana Air Force, he was recategorized in March 2025 as a Cat C pilot, that is a pilot qualified to be a captain on the helicopter, the Z9 helicopter, and he had a green instrument rating. In the Air Force, they have gradings for pilots, categories for pilots from A to D. D being, depends on what you call high and low, D being for the initial, sort of, and then you go all the way to A. It's interesting to note that for quite a while, and as of now in the Air Force, the highest category is Cat C. So the pilot was totally competent to be flying this plane. The co-pilot was also a qualified FAA commercial and instrument rated pilot from Bristol Academy, Florida, and he qualified in April 2023. In December 2024, he was recategorized within the Ghana Air Force as a Category D pilot on helicopter type with a white instrument rating. To further rule out any potential human cause, we examined the medical and psychological records of the crew. A review of the medical and personal records revealed no known medical or psychological conditions in the captain, co-pilot, or technician at the time of flight. All three were described by witnesses as calm, prepared, and professional during the pre-flight activities. Fatigue or medication was not considered to have materially affected their performance on the day of flight. Now to the sequence of events. The flight departed Accra under visual flight rules in marginal weather. The flight to Bofuyedru was uneventful. Bofuyedru is approximately 90 miles from Accra, about 10 miles from Obuasi. As the flight approached Obuasi, visibility deteriorated rapidly due to mist and low clouds. At 9:56, the crew entered IMC, which is Instrument Meteorological Conditions. To the layman, it is they flew into clouds because they no longer could stay away from the clouds, so they flew into clouds and transitioned to IFR. Now, IFR is Instrument Flight Rules. So what it means is they now transition from navigating using visual cues to now navigation solely on the aircraft's instruments. The crew then initiated a climb across terrain that they were aware of. They initiated the climb to cross the terrain. Seconds before impact, the crew stated that they could see the high ground below, so they got over it. Suddenly thereafter, the helicopter that was flying up without any change in its power or in the pitch, which we use to go up and down, suddenly lost height and impacted a ridgeline at about 1370 feet above sea level. And this was about 6.5 miles from the destination, and this happened at 9:58. Now, the dotted blue line is what the planned track had been. The purple line is what the aircraft actually flew. And that took place because it was avoiding clouds and so on and ended up where it was. Now to our findings. The helicopter was airworthy, but it lacked additional safety enhancements. For instance, the terrain awareness warning system. Now, you know, the terrain awareness warning system, for instance, is predictive. So what it does is it tells you, warns you, it gives you a better picture of the situation and puts the pilots in a better, it gives them, puts them in a position to make better judgments, to be able to see everything and be able to foretell if there are any things that could possibly create a problem. They got the additional safety enhancements required for the weather phenomenon over that terrain. There was adverse weather, there was limited visibility, there was rising rugged terrain, with this terrain induced complicating factors, and there were no ground-based navigational route aids en route. The investigation would like to say that from everything they gathered, the emergency response was very timely. The fact that the responders managed to get to the site in about 2 hours was remarkable because the terrain has very steep slopes. It was raining, it was slippery, so it wasn't the easiest thing to do. When we went to the site, it was also raining and it was very slippery, and we struggled using sticks and everything to try to get up there. So looking at everything, we would say very confidently that the emergency response was very timely. The investigation determined that the accident was caused by the sudden loss of altitude and lift due to downdraft. This loss of altitude without change in power or pitch altitude is consistent with downdraft associated with changing environmental conditions over high terrain. Our safety recommendations. There is a definite need to modernize the fleet of the Ghana Air Force. We have recommended that the Air Force acquire modern aircraft with terrain avoidance warning systems and modern navigation systems. That the aircraft should have cockpit voice recorders and flight data recorders, which are the audiovisual capable types. That the Air Force should invest in simulators for recurrent training. That they contract certified aviation weather provider or providers, and that Ghana as a nation should try to have en route navigational aids, especially in remote areas. The Air Force should seriously consider establishing flight data monitoring and en route tracking systems. And finally, we believe that they need to acquire ground support equipment. The helicopter accident was an unfortunate and sudden weather-related accident. Implementing the safety recommendations will prevent the reoccurrence of future accidents. At this time, before I take any questions, I just want to give a few acknowledgements. I'd like to acknowledge the efforts and the support that the team had from the National Security Secretariat, led by the National Security Coordinator. It made what was a really difficult job for us much easier to do, and encouraged us to do and persevere to come up with these results. I'd like to thank you also to the US team that joined us for a period of the investigation, the Chinese, for their warm welcome of us when we went to China for the decoding, and all the assistance that they gave us. They were very professional, and they worked with us and got us everything that we needed to be able to fully understand what happened. I'd also like to acknowledge the lead investigator, who in truth is not here today, Air Commodore Akon. He is on national duty outside, but he was the lead investigator and he worked really hard. I'd also like to acknowledge my mother organization, which is the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation Bureau, and its commissioner, Mr. John Wombati, for all the support he gave to us and the full availability of the AIB architecture to help us. And to the team that did this investigation, for their open-mindedness, their objectivity, their logic, their diligence and perseverance, and their dedication and commitment for over 2 months, working close to 7 days every day, sometimes from morning 9 till 9 at night, because we knew the country was hungry to know what had happened. And finally, I'd like to thank God for blessing us and giving us the fortitude, the mindset, and for guiding us to come up with this report, which we hope will bring closure to the families of our departed heroes and to the nation. Thank you.
And that was a report on the Z9 helicopter disaster that befell the country. 27 minutes past 2, Fox 97.9 FM. It is time for Eboboba. My name is Nana Kwabena Ampratwum. I want to welcome you this afternoon to another exciting edition of your favorite political talk show. My guests this afternoon are Malam Isa Suleiman Seidu, General Secretary for the PMP. King Abubada is also here. He is a member of the NPP communication team in the Ashanti region. Okay, my Kwaba. Sima Ediono Watri Apa no you know Fox 97.9 FM and Wasugusa Uti. Ba Uti and Tintin na a helicopter na. They claim the lives of Nipa and Watri, Ghana 4 and Penin 4 Watri. Brana Omoko Obuasino. Reports now be to Jow Eddie Amau and Penino and Penisu so I was so. Captain Fojo and a bear a church in 70 moon. Yebedomu Sukona for Yahan 7 Makumako. In fact, one more just a name a course so map helicopter and crash, you know. But helicopter and Casam just say, maybe Brioha a lucky. Can't be Brioha in Nim. Also bad weather. Maybe more and yet. And also so Ekan Hubi and some baby mix. Reasons and I'm so Emma helicopter no air crashing. Recommendation Modiama and it's Bayanka Ghana Army no Munya a new fleet of aircrafts. Enter a Yomushevo from Enfama Womo. Period. Tiawa. Ready for 1 hour free monocry and say minimum so be a course to be no. Yamo den say be na ye be ka che ho say bi NCB.
Ziboten abi ugwe azikatokpo haye iwire Ziboten abi ugwe azikatokpo haye iwire Ziboten ikude kwa soko pewa Ziboten ikude kwa soko pewa Ziboten
Muniru Mohammed, a national organizer for the PMP of Hassan Suna, Ken Kwejo Abubada, and so represented the NPP. Malamisa, and so Betna Sidiama, NDC party Nonafe, one I know, Eberichun Komo, and area. Muniru, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
That is saying,
Yamiadu Mona, Mohose.
Yes, so Yahuya Pa.
Me ba chekakra. Me ba Sunday be program B.
Okay.
And my general secretary catch me say on ne say about there, but se mabe kuma say dia.
That's right.
If you intimi be representing.
Me
that's it.
And trying to say,
oh boko.
Be the day.
Oh Yamiadu be bia boko.
Good. Abubada.
Ampratwum. Say bejo. Grow you. Emunsam. Ye, what done is 1,000 bufra. Every year, I was as if 1,000 individuals you are you. You're gonna say, became the gym and just stretching this one. Oh, a dear granny, as I buy a 2 years. Oh, government need to create measures. Me be dear because be a man who be. Dear me, oh. When you did it, we know opportunity. Now we elaborate 2 points, dear me. Your submission, no. The what run out there, we will run now. We are okay, no. Now I catch it. 7.9. Mamma, something coming some. Jamaican is what I say. A dear papa Tintina Ghana hire twaba. And company for you, you almost on my day. I'm on a affair. Another one goes to a cassette say, another man, the promise him. You ever see him? Now we come in as your home. Your home.
Who say to Timmy, and
young can do a chair. And yes, young can do a chair. What's that grenade? Ede. Yeah, you can't encounter there. What's the contract Ede? And Nijini. And that's why I see ye. So what for Sibi, who your baby? Who might be in a kahua. And go native will change. And I will take a me say. There's a new style of communication.
I think so.
A new style of communication.
You see, there be.
You are doing that. One for the time, man. We don't do communication this way.
Okay.
Let me learn.
Okay, you allow me.
Let me finish with my submission. We are amount of time. What do you do in here? What your secretary? Mr. Metia. Me, I don't have any secretary. Me come as some yes or me moi. What's wrong, Kasa?
Baby, I'll define. And I make Kasa bet to us. I say, oh, mine ain't queen.
That you now 2016, 2017, and about 2024. When you are in Ghana,
road safety commissioner, as then here. Promotion no mun koshe die ma accident ni see ba o si bibia ebedu medu
o say accident road safety there
commission
me we say logistics equipment omu use to keep this menace no oh what's that cake got to do with the submission I'm making
madam kasa
me tell you when we am question ko for free hen me tell you what kind of this that allow me to talk. Respect yourself, gentleman. Make us some who interject me.
If you crowd here, Kasa, na me.
Please.
I just who you graduate into us.
Let's be decorous.
What kind of personal attack is this? So don't have my right to speak. That's how you communicate. What's the time? Let me finish with my time.
Yes.
You don't do that.
Okay, so Mr. that comment, Mr. You withdraw, Mr.
Comment there.
Say withdraw it. You make it progress. Withdraw that comment.
And then before I draw this comment,
you do that for me. I know what I'm doing.
Okay, my retract.
Okay,
but the make say you shouldn't interject me when I'm making my point.
Okay, continue.
Who will be here? Jot it down. Share to her. Who here? Then you make your submission. Sign here because the tape what here. You are here to educate, inform, and entertain.
Okay.
In case you don't know this, allow me to talk.
Okay, continue.
Very good. I didn't think I'm going for Gusu Ashri or Madishi or Krumha. You can't want some or say me and can't want some. And then you never tell you can want some. No. And then you come. And we come. And then you never can want some this year. Committees found in the buy, you know. I'm a boy, you're on the buy, no. No, yeah. Again, you come was them. Almost a day. Muncan say, with my jackets on Pamano on top. I didn't know was them. Any same as they can was them. Government needs to create enabling environment, good measures for its people. Maybe because that's me, I should say it. Mommy can was them. You have reduced the politics there, you know. I said. Partisan lenses there, you need to know. You think can go and find events say a tier for one events say ordinary Ghanaians. What kind of life is this? You go for she and go for this year. You could be no can want some me and can want them because I kicked politics in the area. I kicked the go from Kusumu. And then I say but Jimmy Brennan Jimmy yes and go for Ninti near Musene. But Jimmy Brennan say I'm going to get down. Yes, it's near Musene. And then go for it. You can't want my government to create measures. You can't want to say I shouldn't say it because of the I kicked measures. Japan Yati. Number 2, my mom in Czechoslovakia from my constituency. Kwara constituency me just as kono do boaten na me nchia me constituency kwara so fo nyina ba me na me ka che me brother say me ya tie say me nyahu a ani se me hu ba me hu a me kan because emre bi bai ni okrom ha ensem bia amane fo bi zu hu ye no omo say dey omo kan enu na ma party dey dey akọ police me ye hu a ye be ka on te say man no say be ye nti no and yenye age bread ya betina ha with that.
Okay.
Yeah, Ampratwum.
Yeah, we need.
Mami da was na menchia 84 na ewie ide. I think say 84 and one friend has say yembe ye ye ho. O friend has say yembe tre ya adwen. Na yen kire say de ya manyo ku no esifa ehunu nyoma bi a ekos e wo man mu.
Sure.
By so betina na o kasa na me kasa kire na o kasa we mu de ekofa mu fi hia. It's unfortunate.
Man, I will draw.
This is the first time I will share me. So me can't I don't think so. Let's because many national officers no one that say MPP a opposition. because of this type of communicators omudia ediagu kwanso. Yeah, you see when you say asemba me make catch up say you see say yeah bibia said bibia be policy say ya na ebeko inko enim da but obi make recently galamsey issue by uti opposition almost say the best aban by any say on apologize then no many politics as free mu no many national issue adwin maybe school me call KNUST Texas yes in madwuma you see adwin na kasa no mon yenyi politics Matthew Macau enkweni enti emfa ni na ngunchen na say obi amfa na adwin bra ne nkwan a befa so a oman no bekonini enna yi na epe but say who can me be kawe na to be frank Ampratwum me twaso so no wonder say MPP eco position say ya na MPP because so a communicate amagana for who say the idea omo no omo so omo mfa nche saa na ombe kasa kire Ghana for saa na ombe kasa then ye bia no ye beko echi Ampratwum the AC say new man kitten say ya shasi a meeting okay we the Ghana for near him say me Munir Mohammed and say na make kasa so even though no with the mama fan tunche Ampratwum and yet press conference FR helicopter issue no even though Ghana Black Wednesday see no Ghana yantasem the cra na that day no na you I think say me confirm no che ya de na me kumase na me ya de confirm no che na me leader chairman leader of PNP Madam Janet Asan Abla e breaking news cinema me say na esi na ono so tete anche bia na news no e sha say fly all the social media bia o te say ni say but no munye sure say microphone no o mafuma na so mo da so tias e che na te say the buy na enya asam ketwa kra o body kra no enya asam I say yes I repeat bio
so I'm say see and we were wondering say ana Ghana forces intimi an track here who be out for and be out omokotoye na for a long time na omuntimi en locate be out na kotoye aveni TSS omo ni real time you can say yeah omo the mechanism omuntimi the tracking system
you see yeah you my kind this type of politics any na menu ya betina so you see tama na akufo do sha say use private jet nanke say ye hwe na hu say no jet na ye presidential jet na wo no aye old aye outmoded say people from no o ka sort of for the opposition kai o mu si there be airplane one dey Roger fee deputy defense minister o say be team ejuma 30 good years okujo to ablakwa e ka say yeah okujo to ablakwa ka say engine emienu say emiensan say ba kunya ejuma mienu be ejuma so eni na enne no you see yet is asem no ye na anya ide but Ampratwum say Ghana yansesa ya manu sem yansesa say this year politics the bia no say ya na ebeko the bia say ya na ebeko obi ba obi maame ebeko na ombebio you see the bia me say me bekuma na me fa amasaman suhum amasaman pokuasin kwana sometimes mitimi sun wo hwe me ka asay na asese utimi bo bibi enye manhole enye port manhole so intenya samke pam but there yan say some painful ya muye omofa kwan no so they fly so ko wa obefa 1 hour 20 minutes so ko tamala 1 hour 20 minutes obakuma sa 40 minutes ye ni binu ye na ye bre so entina de bia na ye see yem fa politics asem entunchen ni nkwan ya abefa so a ebebu o man no 4 years is just around the corner say advice opposition no any you can say opposition member any just say you have to criticize don't criticize for criticizing sake say market now ma solution say one tia e shobotun unya akunya na wabaye adwuma no so what you say Ampratwum so that day as we see here to be frank Ghana ina ya ntia asem de na ekwanya omofa so a omokoyi funu ni nsem bebre ye ina tie say di utwe upapapa na di ni hye e friends en boto enya asem ke Ampratwum Ghana mi humfunu to be frank misun even though because mutala say me ben kakra
okay
yeah etimi ye misun pa na yeah so we now no say ye twen black box share the in see recommendation the see ameba na mitio recommendation ba kwa the oma oil pressure and kaya committee man say almost say they want to acquire new modern aircraft o kasa ina no mitie me say nitini kwakwa ni sen enti o kasa the best way for them to acquire modern BC so on asa kowa asem ne wi ya no so yenyi amansem emfi ne modern ne yenhwe kwanya e be fa so a aircraft ne to a enye media o enye o man ne dia
sure
e be bo o man no the asem see here me ko one of Musta station equal program e no mo frɛ interior minister ona Muntaka e na o kasa because earlier no report ba say nanka of full flight na at force a train free antisa metie o ye interview na meti studio say the minute ya e na ye frɛ no na o kan dey see was day na e ka say obekɔ buase no na adwunu na enko I say ensususu into catch ni say oko flight na do call tamale o e na sadi back e na catch ni on your so need go catch ni US e na catch ni say my being see me some cut was that's it na the fly say na ko ba me dey me ko timintimi e na ni cast oh so papa small dey obedi o say no dey about obehwe entimi we fi excuse a onya excuse na odi gina so a wan call no Ampratwum enye asem bia ni kwan say obeka so di be sergeant but esan say ni timintimi no excuse ni ba ya na o ka say oh sadi a na e mo obi nkona onu de okwa ewi ene sadi ni siye ene Yankopon yi ni free mu na Ampratwum ebusa say dey no mo kwa ede obu ase den dey pan no mo kwa even though e si dey
sustainable mining
galamsey issue ya no mo ko e hwe ekwan ya mefa so a they can modernize the galamsey issue enu ana mo kwa 97.9 na omu ade ni siye no dey ni aya fa galamsey ho galamsey ni jaya na ana se njaya se ni anya MP sa omu ya galamsey me nti bi da se MP se MP sa omu ya galamsey you see these two political party no Ampratwum NDC MPP si yanse sa omu a de bia results e benya ni omu ye na ye omani pitch be bra Ampratwum ene se minuru na na me shows MPP time na NDC aba na we NDC na de na asan di no na de Ampratwum din atoso ai the same pit omi adam for ye kasa chama untimi ye galamsey chama untimi ye galamsey they say chama untimi ekoko galamsey na jayana so they be kasa these two political parties and these MPPs this the minua e sha say ai you multi so say ya no mde di opposition enti ebe yo mu bisa Ampratwum ye no sa no ye say osunu mienu eku a wan na ebre
enwura no ndia no
ye mind ye can say citizen no ene ye ebre so what you say enti de bia me call radio so a me ka say me to Ghana force omu hwe no omu sesa omu hwe no omu nsa mo adwen and this MPP say ya number Ampratwum galamsey issue omu koye ye hwe de say de esi de bia me fa ehinem in between ehinem ni your friends de bia omu ton runam na ampo de bia dru anamisu Sunday mi be na anamisu un se wona we bi o bridge bi o krom for no tama 2004 minimum of fire call nkran so ye ba sa bridge on be say ehinem for no e wona omu be say omu siu omu num omu ye aduane omu sini ma ampo se dru a e wada ni milo entini na Ampratwum ye meka say atima isi ye koya na say bai results be ni nyae lesson be na ye fa free mu ne akase ne krakra entini krakra no de na nyasi etise e bia ni say mi no kase ye say presidential jet no enye adwuma omu hwe se de esi a say na omu suro so mbe kase ye ntofoforo adintra because now no nsema omu kan omu kasetia to be say now no ye
go far by you now no ye
so
ke obubada
so nsema omu kan na no ama say omu ntimi nka but the best thing say ye beto foforo but because of nsema omukan nsema omukan say ye wo school under tree you will say ebi nu ana that's all. But you see, so when you approach me, let me buy a minu within come, and I buy a she, I had me, medanya, your friend say, et minu akasa. So, into my master, Ubi our corporate, my master, presidents in a bay say, in Yafo, and I say, Ubi our best ever Ghana Biana, and I say, oh, say, what, and so also found which room. No, any fancy, yes. 18 no, Ampratwum, the crocrano, assembly, see, ye whom ni forever. Yes, say ni monitoring something I monitor. You need real
time tracking system.
Track flights. Yeah, track it. And can we say not or more pilot ni no or more personal experience. Yeah. You know omu and ediato asie and or more sanyo man. Which is very bad.
That's right.
Ghana say kweni. Say this are bad politics no say we are me so me ba me obi we there be yin firi na hwe the best way e betimi aboa because na top property to japade bia e bagana yen tom ma ndis yen tom ma MPP first presidential jet ye to andakufo one thing mo 7.9
oh yeah Ghana no kwese obi asu
you see ko san so yen ko enim yen ko enim
say be umfi say be phone e hayo say there you eti ai obi awura office for crowd person kunya wo nyina yes sa all furniture yan fa from gum
say enu sa no procurement na obenya ne kickback so what I say enu obenya o to for na obe inflate figures no so what I say ensure ya odi abetumenim onu betu koto 3 cities onu koto abeto 6 cities and sometimes so Ampratwum ma men kan we so na men fan track
okay
Ghana for suban yen sesa to be frank de bia no make say ye ya ne be ye say ye o man no enya aban bia he kan hu say issue we make akoto no ni medium size o come milk other we mimbo shops ndi ba o ko bia we 2 cities ba o ba bontin a medium size o mo turn 4 cities 5 cities why are we doing this to ourselves ade so etinu yen hwe na yen sisa esuban na sisa esuban a yes sisa esuban a wasa wa late yes
late wala bisa
yeah ala isi yen hwe na sisa esuban na sisa esuban a en na mema oman na tumpo NDC for there to be frank they are be there omunfa yes yen fa bronya we na biscuit
okay
they see enya sem papa but omomayin obi ehun ni kura no say the commander ni be explain here no omunya new modern aircraft sounds like presidential jet nya fofo omun kana Ghana yi na ye be ka say mo me patcho the first mo kai no man kan yi na munim de wum he say the ehun say ampa aircraft ni na da enti Ghana from yesre mo ye ya na kan ba he say the edun de mo ma kwan na enkoto fo Ghana for beti ase na ya mo kwan na ma koto fo na the esi no ye fanye lesson say the be ya ochina ye ma obi papa most omo car baby no omo bed winners and omo be siafo
yes
they omo be siafo rely on them so what I say by say akoba no wana and Ghana so dey enimie aba say ni e be kan e di kosura acha acha 2 years na refi when say omo no
say you say your short memory
and
it was a reality the president said so what kind of crap I say 97 time on the kind of
so na your father go na intinian hwe say the be ya etire no yen ka say asi nitino because of your short memory say be sama ebiesi ebi say sibiuma we are not going to give it to them
okay
yen ja almost akwa
well Kwajo adeba ko mo kan say crew no no mo ni experience and they and man for chaba wo mo and no munim kan then no munim pilot no munim experience and then mo scientist mo credentials
you see me akrofom mako akwa campaign
okay
mako akrofom mafa akrofom from what to adanse askwa sa enclave na ma ya campaign order inti wonu to among focus on my experience na emu hawa sometimes no ukra we use ka kra no Ampratwum so tim kra na the way down tim san anytime bia Ampratwum because I want a forest zone area
okay
inti na time asem si ye no so no na with the weather condition ye kra work within the Kumasi enclave ni akra no we da na enhye da anya good in my so e je ni de omo ka so mu ni say asembasi ya obi a be de e be candidate but and anka mu ni experience anka ɔman no ɛmpini ma ɔmo ntwi helicopter no so aja sɛ yɛnhwɛ maintenance culture ne sɛ yɛtimi yɛn ho adwuma sɛ adeɛ no sie dada yɛnka no korɛ ayɛ dada ayɛnyɛ adwuma yɛnka sɛ adeɛ no ayɛ dada ayɛntimi yɛ adwuma ne nkɔtɔ foforɔ dan sɛ yɛde bɛ wawa saa yɛka mo mpini yɛde bɛ politics
Ampratwum yɛnka no korɛ nsukɔdwo ka no korɛ a ɔsɛ mede yɛ politics ɛyɛ me ya sɛ ɔmo yɛ ɔmo submission ni wie a na ɔmo refi sɛ asɛm na yɛka no ɛno abi na ɔka bi si so ɛna mefiri akra ba bɛfa amasɛm bɛfa apogura ase no ɛnyɛ pɔto na ɛda hɔ na ɛdɛ na ɛda hɔ amona na ɛda hɔ no whose responsibility to say ɔbɛkɔba saa amona no bibisa wo ɔwɔ sɛ wokasa wie a ɛyɛ wadwene ɔsɛ bi a ɛna we should devoid from politics meanwhile wo sɛ yɛn to abantia npp to abama and to abantia ndc nyankɔfa ho amra nyankɔfa social commentator mra we say me when I say ɛna sɛ Ampratwum na program ya yɛ who host this year no wabɔ political program as a day social program that for you invite me as a politician but na number politics akatam say I should menka politics asem menka the asem mentias you I don't get the whole thing I say be on no timi kyɛ me mu but we was asema okan nyina no we are blaming the government menka say yima no asema okan we are blaming the government upon the findings and recommendations amudi ba nyina no omuka ko ti say abanto new friends helicopter yes anete findings recommendations amudi ba nyina say na ni nyina because the government needs to create enabling environment, create measures because on tiase anything America be idea politics now but that yes na me mean obi a no opposite side of the coin there obi that mase and I don't need you to understand me nya so over timase so na so no mean was to the extent say what can say you run your mouth here in Ghana man name e dey man you okrom ha obi kwani ni ire ntimi anam pa mo de politics okrom ha e dey man you okrom ha na nim say mo preach heaven and you are acting hell if we shouldn't criticize you as I see me criticize him because we shouldn't criticize you because you were Saint Muhammad Abba it only there no ne maami different you were sent from heaven akofado bibini na wo no intone say ti bi kan was criticize no sane yes sane pese ka Ampratwum mami ko play issue no so you were pressing issues substantive issues kromha and then ya na tin say Ghana for omo displace through of us 31 awu 13,000 displaced where are they omo go be my so committee finding any recommendation be na yaye bibisa wo committee finding any recommendations be na yaye ansana aircraft ye na say bia helicopter yi Z9 ebehwase no na yo nkram 16 ewo bogu a omo anya accident two of us committees finding is say recommendation be na omo ye because we know and now say you were superhumans and ye of me there omo ye sent from heaven omo there it be come one them because omo there moja ene wo mu ene go there ensuo ene wo mu ana becoming yes na me kan one them helicopter ni enkoto na kwa na eku obugu fo no be ne e kwa na eku obugu fo no be ne na wo ban so ka che me say amu di amu fasoro tio amu fasoro ye na ye fa fom ni ye complain no me tie me I was gentle tie me I was gentle and I'm going to say Ampratwum if you decide to tow this lane now I'm telling you uni me bema uni me ya tie twemo tie me you know Ampratwum you give this time one time I don't umpesa mekasa anytime yes no na me try how
manikasa also
you don't feed me I'm telling you you don't feed me allow me to talk we sit down on the video we go for please allow me to talk don't you know we
no allow him to talk manikasa na
ana wo me akori ba won
na dia brepa wo so kase so ade
Ampratwum
na wa na wanyini chan
the can you and then we are assemblyman be based on what negalim saying and zim ya assemblyman who you know recommendation findings when they are again ya fa ho dem go say o say helicopter no so far almost technical challenge operational something and environmental water factors whatever this is what they stated because can baby cry the baby I got lost ni kan ko si ni kan friend ni be say yen ko to foforo be yo krom ha emra MPP suggest say yekoto ni presidential jet assembly see here or say minority one bad government move to purchase new presidential jet. This is what about when the if you go to buy when they buy here but and again haba when you say we ni go nimti yo see me say we ni ya go nimti yo and the ban say em na ni ya kase we ni nya no e bi mu say jet is 2 engines and this go for the ground miema na ba ku feria ba ku ya plot ba go so e say nete to the stance you come you MDC communicators can say nana even say plan go for the corner and for go share you come ha me the travel work plan say you work national chairman of Kromha Bekotu verbatim. This is what he said prior to 2024 election. I said the path wouldn't be smooth and you are ready to face any challenge. And then we say be a gun for anti-Asian and said they are ready to sacrifice anything including lives. So they are ready to sacrifice anything including lives. This is what Johnson said. Why are they not charging him? I don't know. And the young can was him. I don't know was him because the Jato a dip and you may course and sana 2024 election NDC for a win. A young can was a moon tro and I knew now a coyos one wine as a man of kind. And one gasa among events and 3 minutes across our base, and Trono would be any be do no. Almost say that 2 dead bodies, cover dead bodies in the brands of the family house. We cannot locate their family house. Who is Sammy? Who is Sammy? Who is Sammy? Who is that? Who is that? Who doesn't go to the video here? Jawaju. Almost Tantosa. I said, beyond everybody who from the piano, then a fool say and draw. Be a gun of wounds and draw. As a settings, I want, and as a sad kill net star of politicking, no, and as a muya kill net star of politicking. But here can you, a captain for Joe, or see another day, or see another day, gun of Wonkoto, yeah, me go to me to me, Cassan, because any people raining qua, not a home to me. And the Jews have said, Minuka says, "Send me what of you." Now, when you are 1 minute, go ni 20, and the helicopter or 1 hour. It is Yamato. No, say, Yamato, I didn't do the Yanto. But because of say, points say, and maybe Tino, you didn't come to Ghana for say. I didn't see him. When a course here, in Tinkayen is your baby. So because of your new kasa, some class no business so your new kasa. And no you can't know and bibia intimi kan wasem. Intimi country. It recommendation you oh kokache Ghana for say yekoto foforo, yekoto captain foforo. Yekoto captain because you can say be that to. Umsa be captain system Ghana for the better politics. Ghana for because hey, I'm not must say to and you also yemeto. And I was here to me and I was here to hey it tell about a recommendation on the say oh sana be dey enko to foforo ni àwọn ade sana say mun konko ye I say mun konko ye hwe na make asem bi say we kwa no wa lete no we say ayi baby helicopter ko to ye no they were not able to locate it based on what one gasa west now kind based on what I don't know why I said there so provide those equipment, those logistics, and why and you are buying it. When I say government needs to create enabling environment for its people. Mistake me here from so me here I say you want to run attacks on me. No, you never buy a man can go, man change in never to have for me. And they never better hand, they do better how. So why you never tell my dream? emre bi eba ye okwa ka galamsey ye kan wasem ye galamsey community man ye kan wasem ne no wan ye kan wasem e ko fa we nyina ye de eba ye community man ni ne no wan na ma e ko fa we nyina ye de eba ye now issue ni say nipa no ye ni nipa bi nchen nipa bi aban no make sure say ade ebe ma timamuni no Ghana ni no ni watoro no because what now can you say oba you make sure say you safeguard your people. That's our guy. Say you make sure say you provide them with necessary security. You provide them with necessary equipment. A bit in your mom day. I expand your lifespan. Today you're losing your people. Through accident, whether a airplane, whether a car, whatever. Ninya accident. A day na ye ya fa ho. A day na ye ya fa ho. I me can me feel the Mr. me say. Me came to the chimentia. Enko fu bi enwo ya. Esa na me kan ye. Ntimi nye bibi ntimi nsia no kwan. Ewu bi wo ho a ebi timi asia no kwan. Sa ewu ya ye nuanum ye papa ye fom ko wu ye Ampratwum. I will tell him say ntimi nsia no kwan ana. Ninki bitinye sia no kwan, but because of partisan politics, aimless promises, dumbfounded promises what we say baseless, but what this so, and I resort to this, and they can once now say me and can once na me made the politics. About to meet me news no, made the friends no say friends say recommendation didn't say na buy na say ye ne se be ya yenye emenye because on mining kanko so enti na wiei menya bra me kasa pi
okay so balamisa edzai
nyame adom Ampratwum
ye de radio say you say ofa car kwan ofa asase so aboyi ofa nsuo so awukowu o na mwiem so awukowu
ye Ampratwum hwe ye mamu hadia especially ye mfa car first ye major routes no uhwe baby ti say free friends pharmacy ko techiman kwa no tumi duru baby wan hwe ya obesan wachi obeka say bia ekurase bi kwan but don say obeka say wayira we dey I think say na yekoye data collection bi ewo wa yekoya na ye ka ekoye ti yekotumu yekoya na ekopiefu
ekwani lidi mo atofu
ni ana ye say ye ne ya yira but on say ye de map na eko ka na ye de nam ne de na eye World Bank for car omo program bi development go on hand washing no no mo ma ye samina bia trackers ehye samina nim say nipa ni di dware a itimi record say nipa ni di dware nipa ni do for ni sound they just or the hwehwe sound ti ye de samina ne koma wo mo a omo use 1 week wi a okwa amenka hwenkyere no wenka hwenkyere no ka chen say ya bre o samina na hyeda oni ne kasa no akase ya bre o samina na woka wi a jai samina ne ma no obekọ the following week no obi die mono ne da ono agene sa it means that the DG on her nti wa kwa mu ono yekopie baby na eja wildlife oni bi epie no mbisa said ne so ya yira wasi kwan na ni and it was something that I think say ye kwan dear to be frank with you, especially Accra dear. I'm also a victim and me too in Kwalami you na be come dear. My sister dey di me chi na ne ba ni kunu ye VIP driver or ba wo kwam the same thing. So ye kwan mumu dear. Me bompa ye say at least sani yesi kano accident knows no political color. Ejina ekotena VIP mo a se bi oyemisa se we MPP ni ana NDC ni. I believe in that mantle. Ampratwum media de bia maka wo de me no why communication ache. Ade ye no credit meka. Helicopter crash on say a little bit technical. At me read the report now. Share report no. I said the government appointed an investigative committee probing the tragic August also the findings were revealed during a press conference held today by Captain Paul Fojo, a member of the committee. Shadiokan, or see the investigation thoroughly examined the flight history, weather patterns, flight history, weather patterns, sequence of events, causes of the accident, as well as TNU, organizational, systemic, and human factors. Not just say plane crab betini a good plane, but human stroke, because I didn't read you a hano. Yeah, me see. Ebi na Trump oka say.
Oh, okay. Plane the oka say it was in good shape. Okay. So plane it was in good shape. But systemic.
That is why Ebi na make say Trump will say Nigeria for Jimmy obeba honom no. And I make catch will be say it will take American just 1 minute. To wipe the entire Nigeria.
Simple cry.
Just 1 minute.
Simple.
No, two B2 bomber bakwa. Player and who system no. You don't have any winning system crowd would they ever detect says are playing where between. I the ube who the impact, sir. One friend B2 spirit.
Yes.
And where the beer modia to play ni dino. It was systemic meaning. So omukase a spirit here, simply something that cannot be seen physically by the human eye, by nipa na eye. Now what the abaye the nature no the person systematic na as a me papa mu I said. In fact, one thing is that yemfan chichiri ye say they are 400 years ahead of us in development. Yanji enuntum. And now America talk about 49th and 50th president. I friend say Trump your 50th president. Yeah, and I'm saying. I'm saying Afrina, if you come, you go 8 and 9. In terms of presidents, no, or more almost 40 or more to baku 50 times a chain. Imagine say generation you better about the next 50 years. Enti uhe omu report no ewa ha. Now still me per say like let's educate people. Ma yenkoyi ye niema bi or say the sequence of events, flight history, weather patterns. And bet you who say area ho. Unim say area ho ye pa. Baby a plane no kra to nipa nko hoda. Say aye nkoko on sa nkoko line bi no sa bipo no, because I think say e dey na ekoye no ho. I think you ko hoda, but yeah baby am I say ye nko no o me galam so ana ko galam baby what you want to be baby a plane ko to on you want to be go galam say o baby a plane ko to ye no you ka o me galam say o me ko dey me obi a per training no nka galam say de nka yen ka so bia njai una be two gold magana ye kura jai best meaning so say the American asia because the forest in itself, the value of the forest now and you far better than the tons of gold now just that say until educated I won't yes here. We believe that when the last tree dies, the last man dies. What is money without life? Okay. So what did the American say? But I'm preaching. What's here no kase? Who read the plan kase? Causes or say human factor. Now, when you go down the story, considering all the evidence, we can say with confidence that the emergency response was timely, which is not true. Emergency report. What emergency report? Individuals no mo say mu every group bottom na. Is that the emergency report almost a timely and you see nobody as a man obi and not dying. Any one Ampratwum here. 2 was say the investigation determined that the accident was caused by a sudden loss of altitude due to downdraft, a sudden loss of altitude. Saprofu we nyina kire say ekodu baabi no na che say plane kɔ soro a na nya de na enye yiye de na eye nyina ye say you know propeller no sa de na esi soro no and who nim say che no class 5 a science school class 5 syllabus ye kire nkwala no how a helicopter flies so but baby no ade na yesu o classroom no ebi kire nti say ade no kwa abstract ade ni ni ho enti akola ni be wie JSS kwa no onim ade ye mixture esu no otifie aye tea any sugar any gari adi what class na teacher ni che no solid mixture no be say akola example of solid mixture no o esu mi kan wodin katie ni gari ya dey ebo mu ediye what jo omu kanyina ni say abra fan ni twan a wo say ekosoro no na ya dey ba fom and ade e masa ade ni ba ye weather yes emputuprumu no eko run from this is but unim o kai kwa what you say senke advanced countries na ke insida
sure
because who read the report now or see this loss of altitude without changes to power or pitch is consistent with downdraft associated with variable environmental over high terrains. Ampratwum, let's yenya time or say this loss of altitude you can say bibi alusu altitude let's add the chrono na nam na etimi nya dey enkosoro without changes in power or pitch nimom play nimom de power no ana tog na wo senka ne fa ni twan no bibia sesan wo we've all read the report na yan kasa yan fanko adwindwimu etu ba ha because me ka be see asem so was say associated with variable environmental conditions over high terrain it Ampratwum someone say akrofrom side onom no senkoko ya abrofo no aba akwo mu change route na Ampratwum unim say Ghana hanso be ha de for ye good pa wo mo mutimi cheap plane no obuasi wa o em say new site baby a wo ye say ko pe baby a dey alande ba wotumu say wo ba form kakra wotumu say efie wo ho a say bi I've always said say the pilot then was very considerate pa I say a new site there e bi a wo si wo ho a enke ebe better looking at sambre no na oben from panty ade no AC from by force fra ke ebia ka impact ni melo me no na Ampratwum be ka che wa say eye miles muro say o helicopter no we use
yes
wa wutie me bia sanye ma we ya mumu nya social media no a aye Facebook no say ye ka B2 spread bomb by Facebook no Ampratwum obi fra me ka che me say adaya ni Facebook no ya no am de mato ene kire no enam so bo Facebook fa nkire woda okohwe mato ba ko a wodi mienu be so so wo mienu ode miensa nti wo de wo hwe ena Facebook de ya de ebrew na Ampratwum ye ko ya nim no o say the committee report include several recommendations and I'm asking myself say a 60-year-old nation
7.9
yeah me can na de meko army for no do mu ni ebi mu akọ unim Ghana ha e so peaceful say Ampratwum obi adi soldier 20 years ntokwa won pata bi da wo barracks minim so te de America na asia na onko UN mission da
ni experience
bia woni ni say wa medi soldier no te barracks na sabio eye bi asi mantamu no o ma fa military ka no yenya wo mu hwe no Ebronkwa. Do before you complain. Now your recommendations pan because say already recommendations or say one modernization of the Ghana Air Force fleet. Na modernization here there. Say ento foforo no. Ye ka moderna. Ene foforo na ento. E hona politics ni ba bebem. Hey, I have said it. Yes, say. Emina na ye complain no. it was not Adiana Wukotonu, but with foresight, no. I am running a libu mayo, mra, yes, sir, and near my year titin the MPP for ye, Okore National Service Scandal. ECG4, one mutiti committee and impa, Nanka said you. Can't miss it for TV more. Because and someone warm kikano, who call a friend saying, Cocoa board. Yet me, Eddie Cocoa Mia, Eko Sia Wa, Eko $67 million, ebedi. Na sani po when we are back at him, say, Koto playing. She baro na abeto. She baro and abeto. Because the then government, you know.
Muniru Simen Kasasa.
What's it there?
Muniru Simen Kasasa.
Don't you know Mamma Kasasa?
You say, go for no way. You could do your toy, he baro now, okay. You say, na nipa wuno.
Ah, and yes, I'm not Oteano Okano. You come modernization, no. Why would I come modernization? Why would I come? I will report to why would I come modernization? No. You see, it was justified. Sir, today, young koto. We are talking about the prudent use of the national resource. And yet, with the national resource, said you, says Sikanua, what the cover flight over how many dollars per hour? No, now cover our flight in we are. What the catch and say, yeah, what to play for fraud?
Like your tone is our time, Nankanye.
What say?
Your tone is our time, Nankanye.
Why not? Yet on Satan relative to prudent expenditure. I'm telling you, not a single Ghanaian would have been angry. The meaning say when you have the context of Assembly American one.
But the opposition was that
meaning say what would the American Asia? I want to help me percent material for us to say.
Me to say, entina make us say. So say now no. Anka tama moka say yeto for na nka support you anka this time anka ke issue e bia ma so sa complain am yes school under tree then omo cocoa board the
I any was it there's a clear need to modernize the Ghana Air Force fleet. There is a clear need to so we recommend recommendation here acquiring of modern aircraft equipped with terrain avoidance warning system and an advanced navigation system. Radio Air Force for an account. Relative to the context I hear describe as no say plane on towa. Meaning say we here say now will be a kotodie. Who will be a kotodie. In this context
that and function well. Yeah. I'm telling you.
Now me as a recommendation you how was say equipped with terrain avoidance warning system. That's a sad plane no.
Sister enemy brain him. Now even the armed forces of China
an advanced navigation system.
Second hand from China. Now China
debut currently me project
any autopilot to crown so
currently project for Amajiga for Japan A4 no na omo gadgets ne wire ha and the project no na already we almost say gadgets na omo Japan no omo say wo na me the project ne ba no kire me ba bi e hoye slam wo hono ha ti ye de ne say ye di dina ye den and ye call assemblies no a ye call physical planning unit for normal chairs ahane high slam omo gi ya no ma picking omo map so omo gi dina they trace and pick it on their map
localization
no omo picking on map we are no their map se ko okay we no awoko bi andi wachu but se u play free terrain na omo de ma una tablet no ebe alert you say what free terrain no and they say will be a yes won ko ai Angola nko ya djuma ai Angola a typical and a nipa na be share you know you just say one in a system no e man nyina no on pick sure and to me na o muka jam say na one of enumerators no we free within system and na me ka say enti susu yampa nkofo we timi aye wei na a whole helicopter enam wiye mu a ekwan bie ni so say terrain warning say kase terrain warning na also the current aircraft na e wo ho no some kilometers away kra no edika ka to say the wo wani mu nie eti either say we sign wachi ana say ube use na sabi nim say helicopter kra new route e wo Ghana because who read omo report or say anaba say aircraft should be also fitted with audiovisual cockpit nature say when you condemn to grave pa muti animu a one rat a radio ana mo be so mu animu o say na morning class ya be kra na the Osaka IBM or say cockpit voice recorders and flight data recorders. The Air Force should invest in stimulators for recurrent training, engage certified aviation Hey.
He lacks so many things. By politics, politician yama, and this MPP. So we bear no through. But the bear money some yeah, say or share life no, or share the amount of money. Yeah, we support. Politics are very expensive. Democracy, democracy is very expensive.
Munira yes me time wa me dey kasa min kasa wiye Ampratwum topic na wo dey man me what's sending me topic no ba ha no wo bi tia na wo tutu pa so me person me hear justice to the topic Munira na wo tutu pa so the more we David you can some go be dia here 5 bien sa ne wa you see, these two political parties one said the Malam he said many John or Kanokre. I didn't know because we say or power. We the womb. Ain't me fan semi be any day NC. Inte say or Kanokre. So sounds na time my people war power no omo hu say net here e na omo kan but man jan to o si dey bi omo say ska no e betimi idea e betimi so nipa nkwa e hia chen bibia make I call program be social something e waka na social forum
okay
ye call no ye to many leader e to na 80 omo nsema omo kan it was organized by Kwesi Pratt.
Okay.
Any almost socialist, you know. It's yet to our Kasana, Milida catch him say, on the OP, intimate Miss Membra. Madam, Koyi Janet Asanabla, Madam, what's it with your member? I've any peer by, I'll say, none about better than I said, be in here for. What's it? You're okay now. A quiet fast ride. Democracy is expensive. Say we a leader in quite so use V8 or say we use carry VW tough range and they say we use and the Bema and they say below there. No, say
that socialist. Was it pride socialist?
Yeah. So say the music Kasani to catch him say Nkoyem bet na insurance say they be here for. So the democracy is very expensive. It in young can say adibi wa say pese mining 2 pound dia yen fa politics entunche na enye ade a say fata na enye so what I say
any more recommendations no you implement
why not you see why what's your toss ade am
you better
ade am me for say you see Ampratwum
anyone watching nkwa no I basis
for a new apartment.
You see,
just a new need. I want. You need to cry.
You see, one thing I say. You see,
me, but I'm not me tell me, but when you serious, I'm who be our brother.
You see, one thing I say. You see, sir, equipment, you know, and Tama MB before Kase, Yentofron, and I can't say Yentom Marco Fadu. You see, John Dramani Mahama. You see, Soto Krana is under care of the defense.
Sure.
so omo take care of it enti o mind dia
ya bo pass omo nya broja substantive defense minister
obo you see broja dey crowd on na some crowd you see you see he doesn't forget the last time about between him was he if you didn't know good condition of 30 years they say what could one because 30 years
we talk about things
me
interview because say before say omani buama ebe o catch present his face on tina presidential jet
yes of course I need your kind no correct
you see it means obe who say as a man then before can say no okay so oba no ka say oh enuanu na adofo
we dey see he was forced inside
you see
konako
say you see say who say yeah you see obe fina umame na o say wada say the omo wa beti it these two political parties NDC PNP the bia ka say ti anse sa omo a de bia omo de oman be ko trisa ade esefata say be ye ma oman na tumpo no omo ka say oh ene niska ene say we su be ya osuro so at as enti oman de bia be stand still enti Ghana for omo hwe na edu be bia say ya omo fa omo tunche na omo try try both omo try and since 92 and this MPP na rule on mine so see the tianity into omo hwe na Ghana for so omo hwe na PNP so yembe bo ma
Abubada Chief Justice nominee vetting
Ampratwum na
fashionista
na maybe as na ngomo
we like to toss up ko yi ka
Ampratwum
me
read some quotation bi wa me link to Masman Babeta. I gave him Atai 70 years. And what I told myself was that if Atai was given 30 years and he comes back, my family will be there. First he will attack.
That's right.
So by the time he comes back after 70 years, I will be dead and gone.
Oh.
Said by Paul Bafuboni. And not vetting.
Only in the family, only in the family.
The general makers had said, see, one said minority leader. And Sana, you be free. Okay, 97.9. Oko 2. Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. Macbeth. Act 1, Scene 7. The whole synopsis about Macbeth was that at a point in time, my main sacrifice, and I say, my main kuma downfall, purposely for the position. Now, in the end, calamity befell him. Udi, ebina bafuboni ayen. Only tokoni nyina on the same bench, right? But I was saying, let me sacrifice her for the position. But me say me not prophet of doom. The ebesi o mani mu no anu oden. Tio, me say the ebesi o mani mu no. E dey duru wa. E duru wa no aka wasem. Say be say wa. The basis are omudi tokonu say I think one forces or incompetent, incapable and at the end. And that's how we can here. Now if you are replacing Tokonu with this comment, Tio, and yeah, I said, super incompetent replacing incompetent, Tio, super incompetent replacing incompetent. Yeah, na me answer your reason you did free ho, you know you answer. Say there was 7 pending cases they all court yen resolve here. 2, judicial independence. 3, conflict of interest. And no me answer. And you can was him. Say conflict of interest no ebe mu wo abra. Say Bafuboni nanga say declare. Say let me prioritize my family first. Protect my family. I want to nyamba no dey adwuma rule of law no ya trogu baby. Eno nka ho. Yen ka rule of law, yen ka constitution asem wa, yen ka brasem. Democracy da be ma ho. And we are fair. Now when you send the panel 30 years no deserve here, why do you then give the person 70 years? That's a question Ghana for you say mubuza o. And the basis Saudi to kuno. What demonstrate clearly say, we super incompetent o. who is super incompetent to me who say who read Macbeth now 3 witches and my inform yensa catch there Macbeth say obey your hene tio and my inform yensa say obey your hene san ye catch bafo say obey the chief justice no on san go ye na wache obey wache oba ho tio so obey hene that no the circumstance no the Macbeth so go say you catch him say obey your hene na say time so kra e say to ko hene no na me be di hene no san na cost today tio e say we kunu because I can't say me say you can't to be trim say na me we yes no obian so be leader obian so be leader undru ho na wo ho e na di obi baaye because you don't qualify that try go say no qualify so be ZD afi no be ka una be ka say be who qualify una be ka say you know credentials e na be say wo ye who qualify and say you been eager anxious say me person be ye if anything chief justice no I didn't want you we have to say almost subverting the constitution we read article 127 I just say judicial you know we cannot interfere by any authority the president or whatever but he say almost tamper with the judicial service no because ọmọnpanyin ẹnẹ kàkyerẹ Ghana fún wakoso mbó sẹ ọbẹ ọsọ wọlé fẹ wọn as unanimous fc ana anasan ṣe san ọgá yẹn ọsọ wọlé yẹn náà eti ọbẹ sẹyìn náà wà apọ̀ntì sẹyìn náà wà apọ̀ntì.
about 69 or so.
na USA kura na 52 states no ọmọ dodo ẹsẹ yìí ọmọ dodo ẹsẹ a country with population of 34 million no. Say no appointed go. And say no appointed. It is Ampratwum. The American ye, I'm not sure. Yen will be able to day. Of course, I've been coming to me in now. Oh, met him yet now.
There be for me, I'm now maybe.
Navala Misana wouldn't
she cannot do it.
Minimum is that
a brand can't make us.
Yenim say who's a benefit say had I know it always at last winner takes all syndrome he say ye na ya ba ye na person ye who say NDC vote na simpia bia so am say constitution go dey propaganda it
yes
abra na ye MPP yenim hwe baba wo for the implementation are poor you cannot implement the content of the constitution momo say momo de ba ye
all right
who think defy us say okay me say you are subverting the constitution to suit your interest now say me met na wa o be say me say
agora me da say
97.9 meda wa say wa man akonya me Ashanti region gruma hene attest me say oti Ashanti region gruma hene ye chiao
as a PMP PP mu party na dey PCP
PMP opidiaka
oh gruma for dots
na
anya Suleiman mu party na
Ashanti region
Kubela wo say Abela but Kubela na abe
dey opidiaka say you see wala isa because we know share program Suzuki and Isuzu go program you I think Rose Joy no problem me cheme kan wa say but Chief Justice vetting here the PMP the removal of the Chief Justice na against save the judiciary the demonstration make more up to now me that so platform so the petition every year looking for say on share no can be any madam gent asana bla the petition by recommendation petition baby I said the could be I said adiana NDC John Dramani Mahama edano no adiana omodeba no adi boni na odi ba omai mu enya ade papa because there were 3 arm of government legislature executive judiciary these two are partisan politics na judiciary nko na aka dey na bompa say embedane politics and this time around your man paying John Dramani Mahama edin nsa to so And to be frank, the removal of Madam Tokuno, now APMP for na high. Yeah, dear, Sefata Bia say anka on my penny unjai by WNTA. Because of say one of their campaign time opposition, Moka say, Omoba, Ombe remove Mameno, Ombe Pam Mameno, Intime, Anyam Wawa. But, you say, you remove Chief Justice, why not the neighbor? Justice Bafu Bonnie. And now I shall vote now. Omo amutu amokasa ina no. Omo so eni adwumboni bia or eni papa or eni papa but e kwanya ye fa so a ye dini ban na ye yempe. Okay. To be frank, we share minority argument amoya na somehow no e bi o a eto asum. Okay. Because then na omoka. Omo say anka ebenya abotre atwen say ma me no o di aso ko court. And a court case maminu odibima. Na say ya pass Justice Bafu Boni say Chief Justice. He say then apam no. Okay. Oche article 146 no so. There are conditions are waiting to remove Chief Justice. Say papa no say onye say aboni na ye be then e nefro. Enti omo di anka mo stress anka yenjai. Na yen maminu in some of the other court, ECOWAS court, any high court, yen shenen kan wan semu wie. Okay. And sana be vetima ya na vetim. But majority see the di. Omo di na ban ko ade. E say ye. E ho na ye mi na kakra. Okay. And omo interest wo man nu hu ana. Because ye PM before there ye kan. You see Attorney General idini bai. Or any press conference no ntimi court. They I can say my if you were pet the following week and or shall say court. Into also interest of baby Anna. Okay. Somehow, man, acting Chief Justice. Say or be Chief Justice Assembly Court. Yeah, panali Justice was Supreme Court. Yes. Odi can say. Odi into a conflict of interest. A true I can say conflict of interest no true can say person kumia any selfish na person kumia we nya person kumia entini ebasa na conflict of interest may arise entino anka onya abotre but as I say more interest be baby ntino and it's part of their campaign promise ntino kwan bi as I say omo pass papa no and to be frank the process is not fair and say judiciary no ASC ushe nansen ruling na eba out ushe animal farm ruling here judge ya okase so ushe sa ruling na eba and they say no eya be say mo party nya se munya wini we na pe the na judiciary ruling na support mo so corporation nya pe omo ya against into yekoya na say bye debi yen penny sa malansa yen penny sa so obisa yen penny sa. So to be frank, this campaign promise John Dramani Mahama and implementing no ye PMP for there you see and try Ampratwum wadaroma ochina CMC Jata and the Jakwana na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama the back room then wababe lunch and cook on kitten
or the boo back home.
Yeah, the boo count. So to boo crowd the boo. And I make us say, Upebua, so more moji 50 in there. You bet my boy mubu. But what would you last game there was say, but what's on the lunch, no policy statement, BP, and to a channel Ampratwum, Obama Nimuha, Eja, Yababi share His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Ampratwum, what that with my free SHS. A year headmaster Snibi. Sewanya ko girls yes so close to dues adai regional educational director video mi wi amede so me dey forward we ko Sewanya ko girls headmaster wo say awofo ntua 85 cedis say ye di to no akum so close sa ko bosomtwe yeji 4 million every awofo ho say projects bi a wo mo dey ba be yesra wo mo Mom for more high life and they say Yeregi.
It is some great.
Has I headmaster for no I said you or my you almost say, yeah, it will be a pen obey. None of the time, try it and see. But under your time when one headmaster in the voter again is gone. Me kimpen for Guinness is so say headmaster or what say one yako girls was see parents in the 85 cities. Aye de ba beto and so close with you. Sanso na kwa bosomtwa. Na bosomtwi PTA meeting ni kwa yekoyen. Nipa miensa pe ndi aka nyina say nya hwe. Enka ye na na woso asana nka mobeka. Eponimfo hwe no omun kasa asem nyenyi because free is free. You shouldn't force anybody to pay anything.
Okay.
Ampratwum MPP for efa judiciary service no. Me nweti apa e kase. The politicization of the judiciary service no say why of course you can say we will reset the judiciary service adentia one
judicial
service political interference then na no all indicators and indices as at then and yen NDC for ne kan tie all indicators and indices then pointed out one Mo Ibrahim report on governance or say the autonomy of the judiciary as of that time and I said send you was say judiciary no omudi womo also no had drastically reduced by 50%. Is that the NDC talking? I don't know someone can no Oba can no credit for any no Afro barometer report. A Soviet, you call a film say Obi and himself Afro barometer report the a Soviet. And nipa you will film at that time, Yami and I'm calling. Was it 86% of Ghanaians lost confidence or lost trust in the judicial system. So what are you saying?
So you have tamper.
What are you saying? So that reference in say NDC for no. Please, I want to kill that. I Walker said NDC for. Now, say Mo Ibrahim report. Ebeka say na Afro barometer report. Ebeka say 86% of Ghanaians. Say as of that time no na MPP was no omo nyinyi say na ye judicial system no said no omo fa hodia na me ka say me ba be reset ya enka boni ben maye
no ba pampa mafo
o ka say mbe pam
what's it there
ka say mbe pam
ye be pam why
ma me no
you campaign a document na ye kan yes we are going to reset the judiciary system. Is that what you are? You interpretation?
You have politicized it. I'm telling you.
Oma
say. Yeah, can you say?
Ampratwum. There me answer. Say.
I didn't do me.
Yes, you best. Baby, ba. Almost because almost best.
Ampratwum. You can answer ba.
Baby, one
say. Me time so. Na enna. You call you ohu the minority ni. Ah, oma utimu so ba oma ba no. Oma tro statement. Public Accounts Committee, Parliamentary Committee. Obeka see there be Parliamentary Committee the yen kind statement was way chinchina chiamu ya mekan and yes there be so what chini twanya mighty minority mo mananya dey en kind na me dey afenyo mark ye no eti say you wa utimi say ade yu fanhiem na wo do sending nam nipa ni tri wo sa ade no nim say wo fanhiem a na fanhiem a Uba committee, Uba say be here then. Wasting your time only to tell us that you boycott. But me, the American say, sa certain allowance na ye de be ma wo mo no. Me sere mo yesika no.
This is the first time I'm
No, there you no to musa obekom no. Na allowance nti no mba obeyesa. So to the American
I have a banner song 0546999744 0546999744 0501436476. Hello. Yay. I go say one. I go say what?
sometimes fatal solution of the member of MPP officers. The Mapatek and the Diana. It's the other number chair for the Bamba. Incoming national vice chairman. And a doctor, everything to a former education minister. Now, play an idea, they don't quite say something because before the avalanche, I did a community man and all the whole back call. Fragana in the call. And for you, Emma, a new example. It is a friend I say, and say, now, we are a cover and focus on getting say. Whenever one is President Mahama, focus on getting about you. Now, so this so portrait on the national. I can go. Now, also, Obia, this I am focus on getting Emma, this time I'm on focus on the whatever it's not about for the women who give you, I don't know what you are saying, I'm not going to I put you on my crowd.
Okay, hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
I'm a Mr. Attention.
You're from saying.
I tell a friend of
Watching Uncle.
The fact that good grammar now, and this year, friend with you. Okay, KGT and was and the bill missing goodbye, MPP4 pound of classic. So my own man and control. Now, but another buy, KGT and one call. I'm not a before now. I'm from home. Then this is what by over town. I think sound like 30 million at the amount warmer. I'm as a palm a man free home. But I tell a year, two of Mamma. Lamb of the talk with you at the ma or more master palm a man free home.
How much 30 million as I palm home, yes, sir?
30 million, but
I don't must palm home, okay. And Obi Uncle Jessica and Philip or J 30 million free. Obi Uncle Jessica. Obi ankwagye sika because enra ye kan say enye ne kwanso a ntino nya de ye be penisman sa na koso bi ankwagye sika. Hello. Hey. Jamal.
I'm passing Jamal in the road to Omar.
Okay.
I'm chief of staff on a good deal of Sabra. I'm check easy on a good deal from Accra. Now, the MP before past today say, oh, yes, so talk later for our Ghana for that engine the farm to a moment. Until clean all your maintenance or Honana, and we get see what I know. Well, the young lady, I think the other one they do a man of that the other year, a young interest no more time, I know what the most fair I didn't want to see on them. If you don't know, Anna, accident to see, yes, I didn't move that. The NDC is a kind to me to be this year. I don't say a sign of me. Yeah, you're fine to president about it. But NDC is to be there, they should be our president before NDC. They don't for so many channels. Yeah, May 2001, you talk to 123 in state. We didn't want to reach out for because you say 115 months, 2002. The same aircraft Seattle at the past 7 years. We didn't find a check for. That meant 2020. Because footballers in Colau, which were going to look from Emma Nipa creating the win and Yaka Pride. Yampa and Senanado. Why the same by 22nd March 2019? To Tapo to Cap, we are the Bazipa over 30 to the wheel. Again, we are the Senanado. So, one day I deny the Diana, the Diana, to Pamaya politician. So, the day the CBA, what some of the politics, I think this is the number. And so, what time is to get more Senanado because it is the idea in the day to see. Okay,
hello.
Kwabena.
Hey, Kwabena.
Any. Mama Juma. Hi. Mama Chia do di nyansa ya Juma. Gade na aka ana ne ebre Kinzuba. Amba kuma ye kama na nakosi. Obi aboa champion tamai. Obi aboa. Oso obema betake me hwe. Ya pia wo firi ya. That's all. Yanko yanim. Ma Kwabena. The American said, no, me kutulu. MPP for the nominee no way. I just not two MPP for this. Omo opposition answer for. This is any other. And you go on my. You should be answer to the answer no. And I want to be on fire and near so five break. Maybe I'm in you. The man young one. So we know for fear, and I know which any you fear. Now, so we are float or quiet for an hour bar, and I win a year. So who's a papano and our fano, not Dino Bill, not Dino Yansa, I didn't so, I don't know the next journey, walk with your power, dear mouth. And you know, Diana did you and me for your power, dear mouth. What do you say? It is near the gas is a bar, yet to be an agreement of Bill, I'm a bit now. I'm a day, you're more yet, Mama.
Okay, hello.
Eboboba
what's in the Jose and
Italian Bibia, Italian Bibia, and now I'm not going to be watching Bubio. And now Eboboba watching, we got to remember MPP Media Pictures, Gemma Patrick and Kabunsu. On any time, one of the group, and tell you that Dr. Alaji Mahmoud Bawumia, former Vice President, incoming President, or the number 3, National Legislative Dua, number 12, Yamano, Honorable Amu Kumaikes. Ashanti region, MPP Secretary, Bamba, National Affairs, Chairman, Sweden neighbor, and everything else, honorable African market. They are proud of him. Yeah, MPP follow. You need to go in home. Leadership, no. You need to home, officer. Honorable African market. What's the leadership? What's the Obama? On Trauma Sebi. And anything between also. Yeah, MPP for the you need to home. Oh, what's going on here? Because I know, yeah, they run a which is for my running show to and yet your best and this is war. Can you understand me? MPP, now okay, walk out to one. And walk to work out to what cry. But I say, well, be on a water for him or what one. No, you know what you see. I'm not in the Kuruma, and I get down to the minority. I come because I watch over you. I know the idea, and I get Ghana.
Okay, hello.
Kwabena, Ampratwum. Thank you. Mamemo Wabasopa na Memo MPP Media Patriot. Memo Mlantia Nabaso.